to attack the next episode, which is this, number 42. Welcome back, or if you're new, my name is Coach Prez, short for Presiam Milchev. This is the English pronunciation of my name. What we do here is we discuss everything ranging from sports, football in particular, but also all other sports, combat sports, track and field maybe, fitness in general, all the way to the more complicated and the questions that are difficult to answer, which are the philosophical ones, the ones that look deep within, okay, that question what is and what isn't. Okay, I'm purposefully making it very vague. You know why? Because I didn't prepare word for word. Should I get a thingy? Should I get a word for word prepped in advanced introduction? Now that's a good question. Answer in the comments below, yeah. I'm not gonna become a proper YouTuber. No, I'm just gonna do this podcast just on the side, just like that. Have a little bit of fun, have a conversation, and bounce. Okay, so in today's episode, normally in the past, in the last, I don't know how many episodes, we've been kind of going on and talking about a particular topic, breaking it down, going into a lot of detail, trying to explain everything and just learn something new. Today is going to be a little bit different. Okay, I have a question to answer, and also I have a couple of things that I decided to say. Okay, let me just open my Red Bull before we continue this discussion. I have about 1 hour. Okay, I have about an hour. Beautiful. On this beautiful summer, not even summer yet, but for me it is summer. On this beautiful Saturday afternoon, we're here and we're ready to talk and to discuss. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my question that I just actually got like half an hour ago, which was something along the lines. I cannot read it because I'm using my phone to record this, because I'm a little bit of a cowboy when it comes to YouTube. In everything else, I'm a professional, but in YouTube, I'm still a bit of a cowboy, you know, a wild man. I'm out of my place here, but we're getting there. So the question was something along the lines of, can I talk a little bit about combat sports, like MMA, Muay Thai, boxing, wrestling, and maybe the pain, discipline, and mindset when it comes to these sports? The question is a bit vague, but it's fine. We're gonna make it clear and simple, and give the answer that I think the questioner was looking for. The questioner and the questioned. Yeah. Okay. So let's. You know what's interesting about these sports? This is. I'm going to talk about this before we go into more complicated and difficult philosophical discussions. I'm going to talk about this. We start with sports, something a bit more casual, then we move on. You know what's interesting about these sports? At least from me training, what I've realized, all these sports, like all combat sports, they're tough. Okay, you have to have a certain level of toughness. Okay, because especially in the beginning when you start, you're not going there and winning. You know, you're learning new things. It's enjoyable, but you're bottom of the food chain. Okay, you're down here. You look at all these guys and you're like, this guy can beat me up, this guy can beat me up, this guy's gonna kill me, this guy's gonna kill me. Oh, jeez. You get a reality check. That's the good thing about going into these gyms. Everyone is equal. It doesn't matter if you're 12 or if you're 40, everyone is like equal. And the only thing that matters is your ability. Your ability is gonna determine your place in the hierarchy, okay, more or less. Obviously, character is good as well. If you're a nice guy, if you're not an idiot, okay, if you don't do stupid things, that's good. That's good for you. So this is good, but your ability kind of determines your place, as I said, in the hierarchy of the gym. Whether people look up to you or kind of ignore you, most of the time, yeah, that's you have to earn this with ability. There is no, diversity and inclusion and all this type of stuff. Everything is based on ability. So this is good. It's refreshing. It's refreshing. There is no favorites and all that stuff. Oh, he likes me and not he likes him, not me. None of this. So that's good. Very refreshing. Good to be there. But you go in there and you're at the bottom. You're like, Jesus, this 12-year-old can probably beat me up. He's better than me, like by far. And you're an adult, and you're like, Jesus. And you have to kind of accept that fact. This for some people, it's tough. Okay, it's tough for some people. Now, where I was going with this, what I was gonna say is, these different combat sports require, at least this is that's my experience when I think about all that. They all require a different level, a different type of toughness. This sounds crazy, but let me explain. So they require a different type of toughness. So let's think about it. The striking arts or sports, the one like Muay Thai, boxing, you have to be tough, but it's more like toughness in terms of willingness to engage, willingness to punch and get punched. Okay, to me personally, this is a different type of toughness compared to the toughness that you require to have when in grappling, for example. In grappling, it's more of a grind. It's not willingness to exchange punches and to be violent. It's more of a grind. You're like you're grinding. It's very slow, like a slow burner, and you cannot quit. In striking, you can be like pop, 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 and you're resting now, and you're moving. Or the other guy is going, and you're kind of just covering up the. In grappling, you can't just stop. Okay, or like wrestling or in MMA, you shoot for a takedown. You're like, okay, I've shot. Boom, I get on a single leg or double leg. He kind of defends. I'm like, okay, my job is done. No, it's not. You have to continue because you're gonna get sprawled. Okay, you're gonna get your back taken if you don't continue chain wrestling. Okay, he stopped my takedown. Let me just continue. Okay, he stopped my single leg. Let me try and move to a double leg. Oh, he stopped that. Yeah, let me try and maybe reshoot or something. So it's a different level. You have to have that non-stop grind. You just keep going and keep going and keep going, keep going in wrestling and in grappling. You have to be okay with discomfort, with positions that suck. Like, oh, my neck is. I'm like this. I'm in this position. The guy's squeezing my neck, but there is no choke, so I shouldn't tap. So you just keep thinking while you're in a lot of while you're in very uncomfortable position. So this is interesting. This is very interesting because sometimes you see people when you take them from wrestling and you put them in striking and the other way around, they kind of quit. There are examples. I can give an example with in the UFC with like Bo Nickal. Bo Nickal is like one of the that was recent, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. He's one of the most decorated wrestlers from America, and he got beat up. He got stopped with knees to the body, which is it's not very common. There were good knees, but he got stopped with knees to the body. Okay, he was beaten. You know, he was beaten. He probably was going to lose. He looked like the weaker guy, but he got stopped by knees. Knees, you can kind of take it, you know, but he couldn't. And he's like, wrestling is a tough sport. Wrestling is really tough. You have to be a really tough guy to be able to wrestle. And then he got stopped by knees. Whereas someone that wouldn't be as good of a wrestler as him, but a better striker that has taken knees before, that has that experience, willing to engage, willing to take the pain, he probably would not have been stopped, if that makes sense. So it's interesting. And then you see these amazing strikers, they get to the ground, and some of them, they're like, they kind of quit, they give up on themselves. They can be just smothered, you know, just smashed on top, just, yeah, bulldozed. I obviously skill is important, but I feel like you just develop a different type of toughness. So this is what I can say about the mindset and sort of the discipline. When it comes to discipline in all these combat sports, honestly, it's not easy. It's not. Discipline, as with anything else, is difficult. The most difficult thing to do is to be disciplined, in my eyes. Okay, this is actually gonna tie in nicely to what I wanted to say anyway. Discipline is its own thing, whether it's in combat sports or in anything else, is difficult. If it was easy, nothing in life is a challenge if you have discipline. If you really think about it, okay, like nothing in there are still challenges, but nothing is challenge that cannot be overcome. Everything can be overcome through discipline. That's a fact. This is not even a, that's not an opinion. I'm not going to say this as if it's my opinion. No, it's not. If you have the discipline, everything can be overcome. 1,000,000%. Okay? Same as combat sports. To be good, that's a challenge. It's difficult to get good at all these combat sports. It's difficult. It's not pleasant. If you have the discipline to show up, if you have the discipline, your thoughts are disciplined. You go there and you listen. Okay, you pay attention. Paying attention still requires a bit of discipline, you know, obviously depending on how you spin the word. But to pay attention, to go there and to pay attention and to understand, that requires a discipline of thought. You're not drifting somewhere into somewhere else. You're there, you're present, and you're listening. Okay, I'm trying to understand what's happening. Then maybe if you really want to get better, when you get home, instead of going on and watching your favorite series, maybe can you go on YouTube or UFC Fight Pass or whatever? Do you start playing fights and watching them? What does this guy do? What does that guy do? Can I work on this tomorrow? Can I work on that tomorrow? That still requires discipline. Okay, discipline is if you want to be good. A lot of days. Now, if you ask me, I can tell you about my personal opinion and experience. I'm not training as much as I used to. Before my fight, I was training 5 days a week. Okay, plus 5 days a week of combat sports. Okay, plus maybe one day, not maybe, one day I play football. So this was my cardio. Red Bull pause. Okay. 5 days a week. Out of these 5 days, I only enjoyed Monday, which is I'm doing pads on Monday. Nice, beautiful. Well, that's one of the best things, hitting pads. Pa, 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 pa. Just smashing pads. That's like a therapy session. It's good, okay? Obviously, you're still working on things, certain things. Doesn't matter, you're getting better. Pads, fun. Oh, the best. Tuesday, boxing. Not so much fun. I have to go there, start 10-15 minutes on the rope. Then I'm hitting pads again. Then I'm doing a bit of sparring. It's like sparring. Like Wednesday, Muay Thai. On Wednesday, I'm like, do I have to go? I don't want to go. That's my thought process. I'm just being honest. I wake up on a Wednesday, I'm thinking, come on. But I know I'm gonna go. But all day I'm telling myself, what if I skip today? I'm trying to find a way to justify skipping the session, only to eventually go. And it's not even, especially when I was preparing for my fight, although I eventually I couldn't get to it because I got injured. It's a different type of like mental strain. It's one thing I had to force myself to go to more than half of these sessions. I only enjoyed two. Monday pads, Thursday MMA. I kind of enjoyed these two. The rest was, but I was doing it so I can experience all that friction, mental friction, you can call. Just facing so much like adversity, and not even in the gym. I'm not even talking about the physical. I'm talking mental. Waking up and knowing that I cannot skip a day. That if I skip a day, I'm weak. The other guy's probably working harder than me. All that stuff. It's a drag. So I need to go there. And especially when I'm preparing for a fight, I not only have to get there, because if it's nothing, you just go there, get through the session, just get through it. Go through the motions. Okay, at least I came. But when you're getting ready for a fight, in my head, I'm thinking, hey, I'm getting ready for a fight. Most of these other guys, they don't have a fight coming at the minute. So I have to be outperforming them. So that's a different, I get there and I can't just go through it. I have to excel. I have to be strong. If we're doing sit-ups, I have to look around and see, yeah, other people are quitting. I'm doing good. I've got the highest pace here. Other people are really struggling, making faces when, let's say, neck or whatever. I'm good. That's my impression of doing neck exercises. Okay. It's difficult. It's just tough. But again, as I said, it's just managing your emotions in your own head, lying to myself every day, lying to myself, maybe today I'm gonna have a day off, And then when the time comes, when I'm like this close to not going, I just say, yeah, just get up and get your stuff ready, yeah, get your gear ready. But you're still not going. That's like 1 minute before going out the door. And then I just quickly just grab my bag and get out the house. And I'm like, fuck, man, why am I going? What the fuck am I doing? I'm saying this to myself while I'm going to the gym. But that's what made it so this is valuable. Because I'm going through all these, through all these emotions. No one knows about that. Okay, now people will know, obviously, whoever listens. But it's so, that's such a big thing. That's 85% of becoming good is this. Especially if you want to get good quick. Can you do that? It sucks. It's difficult. Obviously, different people, different preferences, and you enjoy different things. I don't enjoy fighting. I'm not a big enjoyer of sparring as well. It depends on the sparring, but if you tell me, oh, let's do boxing sparring, I'm like, okay. If you tell me, let's do a Muay Thai sparring, I'm like, okay. If you tell me MMA sparring, I'm like, yeah, okay, let's go. But still, a part of me says, oh, why? Some people love it. I'm not one of them. Maybe if I grew up into the sport, maybe I would have, but I would have been also much better. And if you grow up with something, it's just different. It's just different compared to you. You jump into this at a later point in life. Obviously, I was 24. I was 24. It's not early, but it's not that late. Imagine if I was 34 when I did it, when I started. It would have been even more difficult because the older you get, think about it as being the analogy is being a tree, just being a tree. When a young tree, you can bend, you can fold, you can kind of mold. If you want it to grow straight, you can kind of guide it to becoming a big, straight, strong tree. The older the tree gets, the thicker obviously the deeper the roots go, it starts becoming increasingly more and more difficult to change the shape of the tree. Okay? Same with people. The earlier you get them in a certain direction and they grow that way, probably that's the way they're going to stay. It becomes increasingly more and more difficult because people, like trees, become more and more rigid with time. That's why I've been working so hard to change things about myself. That's why listen, the last thing I wanted was to go and do combat sports. And I did, because I was like, I need this. I have to do it. I cannot live my life, me personally. I'm not like one of these stupid podcasters that I cannot stand. Oh, a man has to be able to fight. And they just talk about all that bullshit on podcasts. So I try and avoid these topics. But for me personally, I always kind of wanted to have that. It looked so much fun to me, like a good martial artist. Think about the word. I'm saying martial artist, not a fighter. Martial artist. Okay. It just looked so cool. So I had to force myself into it. I had to force myself into it. And also I had to know, that's again for me personally, I had to know that I can easily beat up someone. This is just toxic, ego-centric thinking. But we come here, we do this podcast, we're honest. That was kind of the driving factor. I just wanted to have that, because when it comes to words, yeah, no one can really. I'm gonna give anyone out there a tough fight when it comes to words. Okay, so I was thinking, oh, imagine, yeah, if I start bullying someone, obviously not bullying, but I'm killing them verbally, and they wanna become violent, and then all of a sudden, oh, sorry, mate, I'm a black belt in whatever, in Kung Fu. What are you gonna do now? Obviously not in Kung Fu, but you know what I'm saying. What do you wanna say? What do you wanna do? Huh? So this is like a very dark-ish fantasy. But imagine destroying someone verbally, if you want to, if the guy deserves it. I'm not saying go bully people. And then he wants to be violent, and then he can't. What is he gonna do? What are you gonna do? That's very toxic, potentially. But yeah, that was just my original motivation. And apart from this, I just enjoy the process of improving and learning new things more than anything else. Okay, if you tell me, listen, you're not gonna be able to get better at anything anymore, I'll probably end my existence right now. If I knew I can't get any better in the future. This is the most pleasurable thing and satisfying and fulfilling there is out there. Apart from probably being a parent, I would imagine this is probably the biggest, the most fulfilling thing of all. But after this is the process of improvement, gradual improvement. So that's it. If we've got any more questions when it comes to combat sports, shoot. If not, we can move on. And I'll have to put timestamps on this because a lot of people, I'm guessing, don't want to listen about me ranting about combat sports. Although I would like to. I might start doing more often like a fight companion when the UFC has a good event or when there's a good boxing fight. Because I watch all of them anyway. I might as well just do it. Just mix it up with my podcast. 2 in 1. Okay, so let's see what I was. Oh, the discipline. Yeah. When we tie this, all of this that I just said, discipline, combat sports, actually, through discipline, I said everything is possible, which it is. That's not my opinion. And let's think about this. It's so easy. Now, this is gonna maybe sound a bit outrageous at first, but the more I explain it, the more reasonable it will become. Because at the minute I do understand, so this is a disclaimer, it might sound, what the fuck is he talking about? But don't worry, over time it gets more and more reasonable. And also, another disclaimer, the more time goes by, when we look back on my podcasts, they start becoming more and more true. The things that I say about myself and everything else, they seemingly get proven more and more and more, which I'm very happy. So my podcast is aging well. This is another potential TikTok clip / maybe edit, moment that is gonna age well. I'm telling you this now. All right. So now let me just say what I wanted to say about discipline. I wanted to say something about money. Money, when it comes, why a lot of people, they have this goal of being rich or making money or anything to do with money. And why I just dislike this idea of chasing money so much with a passion. Why? Because as I said, think about it. But honestly, obviously, how easy it is to become a millionaire? If you ask me, I can tell you about me personally. For me, again, I'm TikTok clip farming at the minute. Look at, hey, am I too old to use this new generation TikTok language? I think I'm too old. For me personally, there is a 0% chance, zero is a zero, that I don't end up becoming a multi-millionaire. It's a it's a impossibility. It's not possible. It's so simple. It's so easy. And also think about this: making money and having money on my list of priorities and goals is no higher than 8 or 7, probably. I can, from the top of my head, just just give you like things that are more important to me than making money. And I'm still, and I'm not saying when I'm 60 or 70, I'm gonna be probably 30 or my early 30s. I'll be able to say, oh, I'm could be considered a millionaire now, without really trying to achieve it that hard. It's so easy. You know why? Because when you're disciplined, when you work so hard to develop discipline and to develop your character, yeah, the rest, everything else works, like fixes itself. I've spent so much time and energy into creating what I am and into developing my discipline and becoming strong as a person, that what is becoming a millionaire to me? You do the maths, it sounds, oh my god, a million, it sounds like a lot. It's not. Okay, to break it down to you, to become a millionaire, let's say in England, in pounds, what do you need? Realistically, what do you need? You need 2 houses, maybe 3 houses. 2 houses you need. How difficult is to get 2 houses? It's not the easiest thing, but it's not very difficult. A lot of people live very pleasant lives, especially for people born here in the UK. I didn't have that privilege. And people born here, I know some people, they're like 20, they're in their 20s. They still live with their parents. They don't have to pay rent. How easy is this? That's a child's play. By their mid-20s, they've already bought their first property. That's after they've gone on a million holidays. You save up, invest, get your first house. The house starts paying itself off. Okay, worst case scenario, if you're in the UK, if you start saving up for a house and you work on normal, you work in construction. You just don't go on a couple of holidays, yeah, and you don't buy stupid designer clothes if you don't need them. If you don't need them, as if someone needs them. Although I am guilty, I have done it. I have now sufficient experience to be able to talk about this, because I have bought designer clothes. I have done things like that. Okay, but it's a bit of sacrifice. You save up. You at 25, I know people 25 with nothing special in terms of like how disciplined and whatever they are, and they've bought their first house. Okay, they've saved for a house. I don't know how much money you need to save here. Maybe £30,000 or something like this. 40, let's say £50,000 for your first house, for your deposit. Okay, £50,000. Now you can just save up cash, boom, boom, boom. There is so many different things that you can save up money and invest, and your money grows as you keep saving. You can put it into stocks, S&P 500 or whatever, Bitcoin, I don't know, whatever you want. As you're saving, in 5 years' time, to save 50,000 sounds like a lot. Maybe it's not realistic, but in 10 years' time, why not? 5,000 a year. That's £400 a month. Okay, think about it. Think about the people that live at home. You can't save 400 a month. No, yes, you can. You can save more than 1,000 if you live with your parents and you're an adult working. All right. So it's not, honestly, it's not difficult. You save this, you get your first house. That basically guarantees you that within 20-ish years, you're going to have at least 500,000. After the first house is up and running, you only need to save again another 50,000. But obviously, as you grow older, you start making more and more money, regardless of what job you do. You get better and you kind of grow in terms of career, regardless of what it is. You know, so you're gonna be making more money. Making more money from your normal job means you're gonna save the next 50K quicker. Okay, and I'm talking I'm giving an example for a person whose goal is not to become a millionaire. Yeah, second house you save in 5 years, so in 15 years time in total, let's say you start 18, at 33 you have invested, you have 2 properties now. There you go, basically done. By the age of 50 they're all paid off and you can retire, sail off into the sunset with £1 million worth of property and with a stable income from your 2 houses. How difficult is this? Who on this planet is not able to do this? If they have at least a little bit of discipline. Who? I can't. Obviously, we're talking born in England. Different countries starts becoming more and more difficult. Okay? Here, I know who is listening to me in terms of like demographic. I know probably no one from Africa, or something like this. So, you know what I'm saying? And people have this as a goal. I'll make money. Well, it's too easy. Is there nothing more difficult for you to try and achieve? You can say, oh yeah, but 2 houses is not enough. Yeah, but I said this is bare minimum for people that don't really have making money as a goal. If that is your goal, you can do what I just said in 5 years, not in 15 or in 10, depending on your job. Maybe because money is so important to you, you get into a job that actually you study for 5 or 6 years, but then you come out of university and you're like, boom, I'm making 5,000 a month. Okay, and I'm saving 3.5 a month because I'm gonna live on 1,500 because I have discipline. It's eventually all comes back to discipline, back to discipline, back to discipline. If you have discipline, everything is achieved. But discipline is so difficult to attain that just saying confidently to yourself, I'm a disciplined person, this is an achievement in and of itself. This is, to me personally, this is more impressive and expensive than almost anything that money can buy. Because I can buy a Ferrari, and it's impressive, it's nice, whoa, a Ferrari. But then it stays with me. Even if I go broke, obviously, unless I have to sell it, it's mine. But with discipline, let's say you achieve discipline, whatever achieve means. The next day, if you wake up and you're not willing to pay your debts, okay, to pay the price, to pay the cost of what disciplined is, you're no longer that. You lose it. It has to be paid every day. You need to pay the price for it. That's everything. Discipline. That's why it's so disappointing for me when people say, yeah, I want to make money. I say, okay, man, what? Really? So essentially you want to make money because you're just looking for comfort. Is that what we are? Is that what we're looking for? Is that what we're after? Comfort. Just comfort. Jesus. Comfort and pleasure. Essentially, we're just chasing hedonism. Disappointing. But again, I want to repeat myself. Work on developing discipline. It's not easy. But the confidence that you're going to get as well, and with confidence, what comes with confidence? What am I not? when you watch my podcast or whatever, what am I not? Am I ever anxious? Am I ever disturbed by something? No, because I have complete confidence in my ability to overcome whatever. Why I say these seemingly outrageous things? I said maybe 20 episodes ago that, oh, you're here in the beginning, of the journey of most likely one of the best football coaches of all time. That sounds outrageous. Okay, now actually I have this next to me. How many days later? 20 episodes later, so let's say half a year later, when I have this badge next to my name, it is less outrageous. Oh, oh, well, you go, you start working for Chelsea, or maybe the things I'm saying are not that outrageous, Maybe I know what I'm talking about. What a surprise! Whoa! When we come back to this episode in 5 years or whatever, whenever I can say I'm a millionaire now, this outrageous statement is just gonna go into a TikTok edit. I need a cool song for that TikTok edit. It will come. I will get someone to do it. But confidence. That confidence is not based on just, oh, I just woke up confident. No, it's based on my just mind numbing work ethic. And do you play for Chelsea? No, I don't play for Chelsea. I don't play for Chelsea. I coach, Sharon. My name in the thingy, the YouTube channel is called Coach Presiam. Okay? Coach. Mr. Coach. Mr. Sir King Coach Presiam. But, I could have done that a long time ago, actually. But what I say on these podcasts, I could have I could have started coaching for Chelsea a long time ago, at least a couple of years ago. In terms of skill, I'm probably above the level that I'm coaching at. But that brings me to another thing I wanted to say, and that I believe is important. Why didn't I do it years ago? At least worst case scenario, 2 years ago, I could have done the same thing. You know why? Because as I said it in the last episode. Maybe I go back to where I left off last week. Maybe I go back to it a bit later. I am not chasing achievements. Okay? I don't need anything. I don't really need the recognition. It's nice when it comes. I don't need it though. For me personally, I don't need to prove anything to myself. Now when I have the kit, when I have the badge, it's a good feeling. The only thing that changed is I have the badge next to my name now. But I'm still the same person from 1 week ago. Nothing changed. Oh, but now people wanna, oh, well done, congratulations, da ba da ba da da ba da ba da. Now all of a sudden, in other people's eyes, maybe I am something more, or all of a sudden they can appreciate me. If I said the same things a week ago, they're less believable. That pisses me off a little bit. You know? So as I said, I don't need all of this. Why I didn't do it 2 years ago? First, because my main objective, as always, is skill. I'm dedicated to perfecting and becoming the best I can possibly be at whatever I'm doing. And even before whatever I'm doing, I'm developing this. I've set my priorities straight. This comes first. What happens in here comes first. Developing my character, making sure I'm the right person. So I'm thinking, okay, opportunities, yeah, I can probably get ahead quicker. But I want to make sure this is iron, this is steel. This, nothing can ever touch this and get to this here. Unbreakable. And then develop my skill, develop skill, chasing mastery, improvement every single day. That's what I'm focusing on. Don't care whether people recognize me or not, don't recognize me as good or whatever, or accomplished, don't care. Skill, I'm after the skill. And I know if I take care of these two, the internal, my character, and I keep getting better year after year, you know, every day. That's that discipline that I'm talking about. I know I have these two. Sooner or later, it's just inevitable. The opportunity will come. And when it comes, I step forward with complete and utter confidence, because I know who I am, I know what I do. And I know when the opportunity comes, I take it. You know, like a tiger. You go for the neck and you get it. That's why I operate with complete calm and utter confidence and belief in myself. And it's all based on that. We come back to this, to the discipline. Why I talk about money this confidently? Because I know a disciplined person like me cannot end up with no money. Obviously, exclusions apply. Or maybe tomorrow something catastrophic happens, that I could not have foreseen. But still, like, okay, I'm talking, in principle. Because I'm going to prepare for this, be smart, not spend more than you have, invest, 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 invest. You know what gets in the way of people investing? It's temptation. Ah, man, I really want these new shoes. I'm going out tomorrow with my friends. I want to get a new shirt maybe, or, this came out, I need a new pair of, I need a new tracksuit. No, you don't. No, you don't need a new shirt. You don't have to go out with your friends, You don't have to go out. But when we go out, we spend about £50. You don't have to go. Yeah, but balance, but social life. Well, something has to go, The opportunity to be disciplined is there. That's my point. And I know that I'm immune to these things now. So I just know I've mastered my my mind in terms of temptations. Now, have I accumulated a good amount of clothes? Yes. Okay. Do I have more than enough shoes? Probably yes. Do I have more than the average person? I don't know. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have maybe 7, 10-ish pairs of trainers, maybe. I think that's kind of okay. It's not like 2, so that's all right. But there's always, if you ask me now, I want at least another 3. I have them in my mind. Oh, they're so nice. I want them. They're gonna be so cool for this or for that. I'm not buying them. You know, I haven't bought a pair of trousers or jeans in over 2 or 3 years now. I've yeah, just cut this out. Temptations, they're always there. Do I want a nice watch? Yeah, I do. Am I gonna spend £5,000 for an Omega? No. Do I really want to? Because it's gonna be cool and everything? Yes. Is it the smart thing to do? No. And we come down to the biggest thing, which is what? I'm still, do I look like a complete idiot, potentially beta male, whatever, weak, feminine, whatever you want to call it, when I don't have a car and I'm 27 almost? Yeah. But is it the right thing to do? To not have a car, to still just, you know, power through? Accept is almost like humiliation now, almost, you could say. I have to go take the bus or whatever. Is it the right decision? Yes, because the money that I would spend on a car, a couple of thousand on insurance, I don't know how many thousand on a car, even if it's a cheap, let's say 6,000 on a car, another 2 or 3,000 on, let's say 2,000 on insurance. Then the car, oh, what if it breaks? Another 1,000 here, 500 there, this, that, fuel, headache. These £10,000 I can take, invest, and just swallow this very unpleasant and hard pill to swallow. And I'm just doing this. Let's go. But inside, I know I'm doing the right thing. I'm not wasting money. I'm not wasting money. Car, you could say, but it's an investment. You can justify it just as the same way you can justify everything else. Okay, I can give me anything. I can give you a good justification for you to do it. Okay, wherever it is, the brain is an amazing tool at justifying things. Okay, but when I sat down objectively and I thought, do I really need to buy a car, or am I gonna be better off investing that money in something that is gonna start bringing back some money? I couldn't lie to myself and say, no, I need the car. Because the answer is no. I don't have kids. I don't need a car this badly. I can still I live in London. I can get around with the public transport. It's good enough. I'm not as cool. My attractiveness maybe on the dating market is not at its all-time high. But I guess you need to make some sacrifices. And I've picked what I'm willing to sacrifice. And if the answer is less than everything, then maybe you need to question yourself a little bit more, a little bit harder. What are your goals exactly? But yeah, this is another thing. I had I remember I had saved the money. I've been lying to myself for I don't know how many, well, at least 6 months. I was saving. I was like, listen, I've decided I'm buying a car. This was like a couple of years ago. I'm buying a car. I'm only saving money at the minute for a car. And I'll get a car and then we move on. The closer I got to the money that I wanted to save for a car, I felt that thought creeping up from behind, from deep inside my consciousness, telling me, you do need a car. Hey, but imagine if you got the money and invested into the house. You're just gonna set you 1 year back, okay? You're just gonna invest into the house and you're gonna buy the car the year after. What if you did that? That would be cool, no? It's just 1 year, just 1 year. And I started listening to this voice. That's what I'm saying about lying to myself. I said it earlier about the combat sports. I know full well I'm lying to myself all day saying, I'll take the day. Today I'm just feeling shit, I'm not going. And then I end up going. But I've been lying, comforting myself all day, and then I end up, boom, yeah, I lied to myself, I'm going. Sorry, internal pussy version of myself, we let you down today again. Mr. Giga Chad coach King Presiam or whatever is taking over, and he's going to the gym because he's not like you, pussy version of myself. So I lied there. So I'm lying to myself with this guy. As soon as I was like, okay, next month, yeah, I've saved up the money. I'm ready, and I'm looking at cars every day. And just one day I was like, I call my uncle and I go, hey, uncle, listen, I think, I've been thinking. I'm just calling him just to share, because I talked to my uncle. I'm thinking, I think I'm just going to take that money that I've saved for the car and I'm just going to invest it into my house in Bulgaria and just get it renovated, kick, kickstart the project and get it done. And then I'll get a car next year. Is that not smarter? Because the house is going to start, making the money back. And he's like, well, I don't know, it's up to you, blah, 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 blah. I started saying, yeah, I'll do that. At the back of my head, I knew full well that it's not going to be 1 year setback. It's going to be at least 2, but I just kept lying to myself. I was like, no, it's just going to be 1, easy. I lied to myself enough to take the right to make the right decision. I invested in my house. My house is done. Okay, is it now the time to plug my house? It's on my Instagram, isn't it? I did this. I repressed all my desires to do something, that's going to affect my day-to-day life. Having a car, this is comfort. This is what car means. Having the comfort of, do I want to drive there? Or I want to go to Asda, buy something to eat. I don't need to take the bus. Yeah, I could just drive there, come back. Or I want to go see my uncle. I can just drive there in 10 minutes. Oh, no. Oh, now I need to take the bus. Oh, I'm going to my football session. I'm going to carry the footballs like a fucking moron on the bus. Or I can just drive. I said no to all these everyday comforts because the right decision was there. Invest in my house. Now, the investing, did it end up costing 5 times more than what I thought I was going to spend for a car? Yes, of course. Completely unexpected, but again, another hard pill to swallow. But nothing, absolutely nothing for a person that has built himself up and that has invested so heavily into developing discipline. Because I knew, again, at the back of my head, I know I can always fall back onto that discipline. I know I'm not a quitter. I know if I have to, yeah, I'll leave my I'll leave this place and I'll go and I'll live in a room that is this big, just to be able to save, let's say, 100 or 500 more pounds a month. I know, I'm confident. I'm confident in my ability to make sacrifices. So I did it. Am I happy now looking back that I invested into my house? Yeah, the house is now working. By the way, I need to wrap this up soon. Fuck. I was just having such a nice sharing moment. Story time. But I'm happy I did it. As I said, plug on Instagram, Tsuikov House. My last photo that I've uploaded on Instagram is a collaboration with the house profile. Very cool. I did this certain sense of fulfillment because I did this. I was 20, just turned 26. It's not a bad age, you know, to do that. Given that investing and money and all that stuff is not a priority. It's like the 7th priority. But as I said, with discipline, everything becomes easy. Okay? So not bad. And I did this. I was happy for about 3 minutes. I was like, okay, what's next? And you know, I didn't even think about, oh, let's start saving for a car. You know what my thought was? When can I get the next house going? And now I'm in the process of lying to myself again, because I want to get now a second house, and I will. And I'm just car is this is postponed indefinitely. But you have to have the character to be able to say no, and not be able to say no to yourself. I know how much I need it, and I want one. But I know, listen, the more discomfort and suffering and I can tolerate early, the better for me. Okay, I'm 27. If I can just keep up that level of sacrifice, at least for another 3 or 4 years, get another 2 houses done. I'm gonna be 30 and I'm gonna have 3 houses without even trying to, without this even being my priority. And I'm kind of set up. I'm set. 3 houses at 30. Without this being your priority, it's not that bad, is it? I'm just throwing things out there. Is this the exact plan? Maybe not. Do I really want to get a second house, and am I really going to get it? Yes. Probably next year, I hope. But yeah, because I have invested the biggest investment and the first one that people don't make, and they tell you about all about Bitcoin and about this and about that, is in this. Look at all this. Oh, there, again, another books. There, books. There, guess what? Books. On my phone, books. Reading, reading. Programming my brain in a certain way. Putting the right stuff in here. When I have the right stuff in here, everything else, it will just come. Because I know how to think. I know how to manage my emotions. I know which voice in my head to listen to. Do I give in to temptations? How can I repress my desire to chase pleasure? All these things. I didn't just come up with stuff. I wasn't born this way. It's difficult. That's the investment, all this. Okay? I've spent how much money on books? In 5 years, I've spent about 200 and by 8. I spent about 3 or 4,000 pounds on books. Maybe I could have invested this in Bitcoin. Whoa. Let's say I made 5 times the amount of money. On my 3,000 pound investment on books, I put in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin went up 5 times. I'm not even sure if it did go 5 times in the last 6 years. Yeah, it did actually. It did roughly 5 times. And I have 15,000 pounds now. Whoa. In Bitcoin. You think it's worth it? Okay. 12,000 pound profit. What do you think is more valuable? The knowledge I got from 250 books, or the 12,000 pounds I could have made from Bitcoin if I invested the same amount into Bitcoin? That's the question that I'm going to leave you with. And I'm going to leave all the, finance bros and money. I need to be financially free and independent. That's what I'm going to leave them with. We're talking about 5-year span. I don't know. Now, in that time, I have still invested in multiple things. But again, to invest, you have to say no to something else that is going to be nice. I want to go holiday. Well, I have to invest. I I want these new pair of trainers. And I have to invest that money this month, sorry. I already decided. Sacrifices, sacrifices, sacrifices. And I'm not listening to idiots. I'm not wasting my time. I'm listening to some of the smartest people to ever exist. This is Plato, Aristotle, all these guys. I'm listening to them. I'm reading books that require for my brain to turn upside down 77 times. Are they the most practical? No, but are they training this muscle? Yeah, and that's what matters. Because is being smart a natural thing? Fuck, I really need to go. 3 more minutes and we finish. It is kind of, genetics do determine how smart you're going to be. Like your IQ, just as your height and everything else, is kind of determined. Kind of. Can you improve it? Yeah. Can you maximize it? Maybe whatever your potential was, can you maximize it? Yeah, of course. You have to read books, and you have to try and read books that are even maybe a bit difficult for you, but you challenge yourself. That willingness to challenge yourself makes a big difference. That's why I've read like 10 books about physics. If you ask me to explain the like Planck's constant, I'm not going to be able to. Okay? I'm not going to be able to. At least 3 of these 10 books were about quantum physics. Okay? If you ask me to explain to you the wave function of the electron, I'm not going to be able to. I have an idea, okay, how the electron displays behavior of a singular point and a wave at the same time. What? Huh? Yeah, exactly. But I've tackled these very difficult and abstract concepts. I've tackled them, tried to understand them, not because it's gonna make any difference to my everyday life, but because it strengthens this. I could never understand what my dad was talking about when I was 15 or 14, when he was saying, you need to study everything, you have to know this stuff. And I was saying, Dad, I'm never gonna use this, I'm never gonna use that. I misunderstood. He couldn't put into words what he meant. He didn't know. This teaches you how to think. Okay, and these unpleasant things, they develop your discipline, and discipline is gonna take you everywhere you want to go. If he told me, if he put things to me this way, maybe I could have done it. But I was like, I still studied in school, but I was like, I don't need this, don't need that. Who cares about geography? I'm gonna be a football coach. I don't give a fuck about geography or chemistry. Fuck is chemistry, man? Fuck this. I got good grades. I never got anything less than a B. But still, I was like, what's that? Dumb. And yeah, I have to wrap this up. Thanks for watching, listening, and putting up with this rant. Hopefully it's helpful. And I'm gonna continue this next week because I only covered maybe 2 of the 5 or 6 things that I wanted to say. I just wanted to speak this time from this episode was a bit more personal, maybe. Okay, I was speaking more so from experience and things that I do. Hopefully becoming a bit more relatable, maybe, or my thought process becomes a bit more clear. So it's not like this guy just talks about some concepts, but what does he know, or what does he actually apply and believe in? I don't know. So hopefully I've kind of made myself a tiny bit more relatable and understandable instead of just going on and on about abstracts out there in nature. But we are gonna finish with this. The shirt I'm wearing. I've wore it now, I don't know how many episodes. Dan Hooker, one of my favorite MMA fighters. That's his shirt. It says, you can't teach ticker. He's from Australia, obviously, New Zealand. You can't teach ticker. What is ticker? Ticker is slang for heart. You can't teach heart. You have to have it. Okay, you have to have it in you. You have the heart to know. That's it, what guy. All right, thanks for watching, listening, not listening, and not watching, and everything. I'll be back next week. Goodbye.